Welcome to Stone Hands, to the hands of stone, the last free people of Middle Earth, and the last free people of Europe. How are they related to each other? Maybe you read the works of Tolkien and the fights between the firstborn, the orcs, and later the free men of Middle-earth who have not been touched by the darkness. The almighty Rohirrim and the Dunedain fighting against the evil power of an empire, the empire of darkness, the cruel empire that destroys the nature and creates an industrial haven. Those topics were relevant. They were important in the books. But in Europe, there were such people long time ago, and they were never conquered. The ancient civilization of Russia, the Vedic civilization that spanned from nowadays France to India, all the steppes of the great Russia and etc. And the lands of the ancient people, the Celts and the Finns, spanned from the Urals to Spain. And they were living in peace and harmony until the age of monotheistic cultures began to take over, and the world was living with different rules, and people began to die. Yes, the birth of the monotheistic religions like Zoroastrianism, Mazdaism, Judaism, etc. It created a need for people to rule over each other, to use the power of a sword over the power of a word. And so the time of great wars began. And for a long time, the North was free, the Finns were free. Even the Romans tried to invade the great steppes and the hills of Russia, but never prevailed, as they failed. But they were able to destroy the Celts with strategy, with clever wit and will. But the Finns were never defeated. As it is said in the books of ringing cedars of Russia, that the Romans went to the battle, but the Vedic defenders, they just were unarmored, wore two swords and just smiled gently. And in the midst of the battle, they slept for a while just to rest, and the Romans were devastated. And they were never killed, but they were injured, so they could not use their weapons anymore. Such was the tale of battle with the Vedic civilization. But of course, with the wit and cunning, the Christian church in the end was able to devastate the free peoples of a Vedic civilization who had their homesteads, who were living their free lives, cultivating freedom in the nature, being in contact with all the living beings. They were forced, or they were tricked to believe that there should be a God-chosen ruler, there should be churches to worship, and so their age ended. But it took a long time, even a millennia, for them to surrender. And then came the love of the church. And then came the Viking time. The Vikings were the last fierce warriors who were against the turmoil of the free people. And now, for the last 1,000 years, we have ended up in a way, as Tolkien has explained, about dominions of evil, the dominions of not having a free will. As we have created an industrial age, and we have created the death of many trees. We have created dominions of wastelands, like the great sandstorm in the United States of America in the 30s, the mass cultivation of fields, the mass cultivation of animals, 72 billion animals raised to be slaughtered. That is madness. We are more closer to the stories of murder than we ever thought we would be. And we see it normal, people being ill in a society, as our bodies have been created to withstand a lot of pain, a lot of burnout. But now the food system, the food that we eat, is poisoning us. And many countries do not have any more sufficient forests, only few percent of the total landmass. And that is sad. But we can change it. Each people, each family just needs an hectare of land to cultivate their own small paradise on the land and enjoy the fruits, the vegetables, and also the communion, as homestead needs another homestead next to it. And so we can create communities of living people who are free from the jurisdictions and from restrictions. And hopefully we will begin to aim there. We will go and see the change in the world. As I speak on behalf of the ambassadors of Gen Europe, General Eco Village Network, and I am a European, so my knowledge is most wisely used over here. And if we can start with having a land of 1 hectare, we can start with smaller baby steps, having our small patches of land next to the apartments, communal plots of communal gardening, and so on. Because it's not the aim of gardening is not just to grow some vegetables and things, but it's about touching the nature, being in contact and seeing your own will, creating something beautiful. Just like having children, it's like growing plants. It's beautiful and gives a sense of purpose. If you don't feel a sense of purpose in this world, it's about going into the wilderness or going into your cultivated plot of paradise, a heaven on earth. Yes, indeed. So hopefully we will make from these times of murder to the times of peace and love. Wish you a good day and goodbye.